Hey guys, how's it going? Mark Bursteiner here. Thought it might be cool to try something a little bit more casual, rely a little bit less on the teleprompter and a little bit more on just kind of sitting and hanging out a little bit. Wanted to talk about a couple of things today. We're going to talk about the handful of spoilers that we saw last night from the brand new cycle that was just announced. The first data pack is called Upstalk, and it is called the Lunar Cycle. It's going to be coming out in, I think, Q2 of 2014. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about these little nuggets here. These are the tokens from Broken Egg Games. I really love these. We'll get into that in just a moment. And then I also want to let you guys know that I'm going to be streaming on Twitch. So I'm going to start off with that really quickly. This one's easy peasy to get out of the way. I've been streaming on Twitch for quite some time now, about a month. I realize that's not very long. But I've been streaming Magic primarily. I've been streaming a handful of other games. I've been doing Hearthstone in between matches. But I want to start streaming Netrunner. I've gotten Octagon all set up. I'm pretty stoked about doing it. If you haven't seen my stream before, I have a lot of pride in the way that I do it. I am not an amazing player, but I like it to be so that everybody has fun and I have fun, have a drink or two, and it's kind of a fun time. So I encourage you to check it out. It's twitch.tv/HeyLookWatchOut. The link will be in the doobly-doo down below. Let's move on here. I'm going to save the best for last. We're going to talk about Upstalk at the very, very last moment. I want to talk about these tokens first. These have been around for quite a while now. I got these for Christmas. My girlfriend got these for me, and I was super stoked to get these. I was asking for these, or just dropping hints like crazy for quite some time. These are acrylic tokens for use with Netrunner. You can use them with a lot of other things, I imagine, but they're created for use with Netrunner. They're absolutely gorgeous. There are two separate packs. One pack is credits and the other pack is other stuff. I'm going to talk about a couple of things that I like and a couple of things that I don't like about these that I hope they get better in the next iteration. Let's start off with what you get. In the credit pack, 8-Bit, can you shush your face? Hey, knock it off. God, you're so cute. In the credit pack, what you're actually going to get is 4 different denominations. You're going to get 1, 2, 3, and 5 credits. You're also going to see these black buggers here. These are bad publicity, and we'll get to that in just a moment. This is what they look like. They're absolutely gorgeous. You've got your 1 is green, you've got your 2 is blue, 3 is pinkish, and 5 is orange. Let's talk about what we like and what we don't like here. What do we like? The colors. They're gorgeous. They're really easy to see from across the table. It's really easy to keep tabs on how much you've got and how much your opponent has, and I think that that's really, really important. These are really hefty. They're really nice and quite thick, which I really like a lot. And they just feel really good just to pick up and put them down. Do you hear that sound? Well, that's the dog. Hear that? They feel really great when you're picking them up, spending money. It feels really nice. And they included enough of each denomination to really be able to use, like we haven't run out of them in a game yet, despite having upwards of 20 credits sometimes. These are really nice. I like them a lot. I also like the way that they handled bad publicity, and that's these black opaque ones here. As opposed to making bad publicity a token that the corp hangs on to, they made it into a specific black credit that you obviously only get during a run. That's the only time you get bad publicity. So these are really cool. They stand out. They're the only ones that are black. They're the only ones that are opaque. I think that was a really nice way to do it, and they fall right in line with the rest of the credits. I think that was really neat. The design of these is fantastic too. I like the patterns. I think that they're cool. I think that they fit. Unfortunately, they used the coolest one on the 1 credit. I guess it's the most ubiquitous maybe, but this is easily the coolest one. But the rest of them are still pretty decent too. And the bad publicity one I like quite a bit. It's got 0s and 1s on it. It says Broken Egg Games down there at the bottom. I'll have a link to where you can pick these up down below. Let's get to what we don't like about these credits. What I don't like about these credits, in fact, you know what, let's hold on to what we don't like until the end, because there are a bunch of other tokens to talk about here, and some of the things that we don't like apply to both. In this token set, you're going to get 5, I believe, of each kind of token, and each kind of token includes, actually you get quite a bit more of some of them. It looks like you get 10 virus tokens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, you get 9 virus tokens. So you're going to get, no, you get 10 virus tokens. Wow, that's cool. So you get these little beauties. Virus tokens, these are one of my favorite ones in the entire set. Virus tokens, very cool. These are orange. These are made of the same acrylic material, same colors. I imagine they did these all on the same, platter, cut them all at the same time. You get virus tokens. You get these recurring credit tokens, which are very nice. You get these gorgeous tags, which are very nice. You get these advancement tokens, which are unfortunately the same color as tags. And then you get these power counters. Whoop. And then you get brain damage. This is my second favorite. Pink, gorgeous design, shaped like a brain. Love it. I think it's great. I want to get into the things I don't like just really quickly, but look at these things. They're absolutely gorgeous, aren't they? So what I don't like about these is, unfortunately, if you guys have ever seen Team Covenant, these guys are great. I love their videos. You should absolutely go check them out. They do really good stuff. They do great coverage, and they actually just put out their own version of Netrunner tokens. And I was kind of torn between wanting those and wanting these, but I settled on these because I think that the design of these are better overall. The Covenant tokens are a little bit, all the credits are round. They don't quite differentiate enough in terms of color for me. I do like that there are advancement tokens on one side, but I don't think that offsets using these really nice hefty tokens for me anyway. But one of the things they did really right that these did really wrong is, and it might just be a cost thing, I'm not sure, I don't know anything about making acrylic stuff, but these are only etched on one side. And that's one of the really nice things about the Covenant tokens is that on both sides they designed it so that parts of each of the etchings are on one side and part is on the other. And it gives it this really, really nice three-dimensional feel. What's nice about having the etching on only one side is that you can pretty easily tell just by touch which side is face up, because the smooth side is always going to be face up. But I do wish that they had a little bit more depth to them, because when they're not face up, they really just do look pretty bad, you know. And if you're not really paying too much attention to whether or not they're face up or face down, you know, they just don't look that nice. My other complaint is the font that they used for the actual numbers here on the credits does not differentiate between 2 and 5 all that much. So when you are holding a credit face down, when you're just starting to use these, it's really easy to confuse a 5 that is face down for a 2 and vice versa. Not quite so much with the 2, but an upside down 5 looks an awful lot like a regular 2. So it does get a little bit confusing, but you know, you get used to it. There's only 2 5s and they're orange, so you do get used to it fairly quickly. It was just a little bit confusing when we first got it. My number one complaint with these is they made the advancement tokens blue. Why? I don't know. I could not tell you why. You're playing with advancement tokens on blue backed cards. The corpse side has blue backed cards, and the last thing I want is for something as important as advancement tokens to get lost in the shuffle. It's really difficult to see these on the back of a blue card. I really wish they'd made these either black, like black bad publicity, or found another color that they could use. I'd be perfectly happy to swap power token color for advancement token color. This would at least stand out a whole lot more. And power tokens, I actually don't use them very often because I tend to use dice because it's just a lot easier to do than actually using power tokens. Virus tokens I like to use because they're cool, and you don't usually end up with too many. So it's pretty reasonable to use, you know, 2, 3, 4 at a time, and it doesn't get too messy. But even virus tokens too, I do often just use a die. So I really wish they had made these another color. It's a giant bummer that they didn't. But all that said, they are still fantastic tokens. I cannot recommend them enough. Despite those minor issues, they make playing the game feel so much cooler. And if you've had your Netrunner sets for a while, you'll notice that, you know, they're cardboard. You run out of stamina on them rather quickly if you're using them a lot. And these are acrylic. These are going to stand up to quite a bit of a beating and last quite a while. So I think they're absolutely worth the money. I think they're absolutely worth the shipping time, which is kind of high, but I know they're doing their best there. One of my other minor niggles is they only included 5 tags as opposed to, you know, 5 advancement tokens, or just cutting out something else somewhere else. I realize it's probably only an issue for folks who are playing mid-season replacements and then tagging the runner forever. But often I'll play mid-season replacements and just have to switch to using a tag to delineate what a die is representing. So that's kind of a bummer. But all in all, I think these things are great. I absolutely recommend picking them up. I would love to hear what you guys think if you have them. And I'd love to hear what you guys think about these in comparison to the Covenant tokens, which are available right now. Also, if you've got those. The only thing about those that I would be really excited to play with is the metal ones. Those are pretty cool. But I do really very much like the acrylic ones. But all that said, let's move on to what I know you guys are here for. Let's talk about Upstalk. Upstalk was announced yesterday, and I am very, very, very excited. It really looks like Fantasy Flight Games is taking, not necessarily risk, but they are not afraid to move the game forward with new mechanics, new stuff, things that are not necessarily what you might have expected from them. It's called the Lunar Cycle, so it's got this kind of space theme. Things are kind of leaving our plane, and it's very, very neat. There are a couple of things that I want to touch on here. Let's start with this runner. His name is Nasir Maidan, or Maidan, I think. Nasir Maidan. He's a cyborg. It's a 4515, pretty standard. He's got one link, which is quite a big deal. He reads, whenever you encounter a piece of ice that was just rezzed, lose all credits in your credit pool, gain credits equal to the res cost of that ice. Pretty wacky stuff. He does get shut down by things like pop-up window and paper wall, but man, shapers really love to do their own thing, and shapers have no shortage of recurring credits available to them, even if they need to go out of faction. I think this is going to be really exciting. I think we're going to be able to do a lot with this. Yes, he gets shut down by something like paper wall or something of that nature, but I think it's going to be offset by the value that you're going to get from being able to make a run with very few credits and then end up with netting 5 basically for free. You're doing something that you would have been doing anyway. Very exciting. One of the things right behind him you'll see is an agenda called Domestic Sleepers. And that's a Hospirite agenda for 2 advancement. We can't actually see what's happening there, but I'm very, very excited. Not to mention the artwork on all of these is absolutely phenomenal so far. Very, very excited about this already. Fantasy Flight they're not scared to just put out spoilers way, way, way ahead of time. We haven't even gotten the last 2 packs of the Spin Cycle or Honor and Profit yet, and we're already looking at what's coming in the very next cycle. So I'm really, really excited about that. One of the other really cool things I see here is under Cyber Threat. It's an event for the runner for an Anarch. It says right at the top there, play only as your first click. Cards like this, I think, are really cool. This is one of those kind of conditional cards, and this is how you can kind of ratchet up power level and keep cost reasonable at the same time by putting some of these conditional clauses in here. It says choose a server. We can't see quite the rest. Can't quite make out what it does. I didn't actually take the time to sleuth out and see what it might be filled in as. Maybe one of you guys can let me know in the comments. I would love to know what that says. But the fact that you can only play it as your first click leads me to believe it's something fairly valuable. We've got a couple of other mostly obscured cards here that I'm going to ignore for now because I don't want to speculate on exactly what they do, and I'd rather leave a little bit of something for when the pack actually comes out. We actually do the review. We'll know a lot more by that point about what the meta looks like. The other things that I'm really excited about are, if you look a little bit further down for the Corp, we've got an operation with the subtype current, costs 2 credits. It's called Lag Time. This card is not trashed until another current is played or an agenda is stolen. And it says all ice have +1 strength. The implications of this are ridiculous. The fact that presumably there's not going to be any way to remove something like this. It's not an asset. It's not an agenda. It's not something that they're going to be able to actively target. It's not a piece of ice. It's not something that they can remove. So this reminds me a lot of emblems in Magic, which are created by Planeswalkers. You're going to get a static ability until they're able to steal an agenda, by which point you'll have gotten the value out of the card. And for only 2 credits, I think that's going to be insane. I think that's going to be amazing. One of the other ice that we see here is, or one of the ice that we see here is a Wayland ice with 4 strength and a res cost of 5 called Changeling. It can be advanced, and I think that this is really cool and really exciting. It's a reasonably cost ice that says, While Changeling has an odd number of advancement tokens on it, it gains Sentry and loses Barrier. Its subtype is Barrier. It's also got a subtype of Morph. Its subroutine says end the run. High strength, reasonable res cost, can be advanced so that you can evade whatever the runner has in their rig at any given moment. Seems really, really, really good to me. The one other thing that I really want to touch on here is whatever this is that says Anson Grid. It's a 2-res upgrade. And it says the runner cannot jack out while running on the server unless he or she trashes an installed program. Limit 1 region per server. My goodness, that is absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal. So already, Upstalk is looking amazing. The other thing I want to touch on really, really quickly is they gave us a few teasers there at the bottom of this blog post. We've got a lot of cool things coming. An icebreaker that has the ability to pump by 7 strength for a single credit. That sounds amazing. It sounds conditional. It sounds like exactly what a shaper wants, assuming that it's a shaper icebreaker. That sounds fantastic to me, and it's cost efficient. I'm excited to see exactly what that is. The number of the game's unique cards will increase by roughly 50%. That's a lot of unique cards. That worries me a little bit because I'm not sure that unique cards are something that you want to increase that much that quickly, because unique is like the legendary rule in Magic. So I'm a little bit weirded out, but excited to see how that pans out. I'm going to skip this next one because this is the one I'm most excited about. There's a card that allows you to change any piece of ice into a Janus 1.0, potentially, which is bonkers, assuming it's reasonably priced. And it's going to be possible for the Corp to snare a runner during a run on Archives. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to happen. I imagine it's not going to be something I'm going to want to play because it's going to be a weird kind of 2-card combo that on its own is probably not going to do too much else other than enabling a snare in the Archives. Not convinced that that's what we want to be doing, but we will wait and see. Most importantly, every single pack in the lunar cycle has a new identity in it, and that is what I'm really, really excited about. We've got a great identity in Mala Tempora in the form of Reina Roja. I think she's fantastic. I think she's really fun to play with, and this new Shaper guy looks really, really cool, and I'm excited to see which new Corp identities we get out of these cycles, or out of this coming lunar cycle. Really, really stoked. Man, it is really nice to see Fantasy Flight Games really bringing their A game. I'm really stoked about what's coming in Netrunner's future. I'm really, every time I see new stuff from them, I'm convinced of the longevity that this game is capable of. So I feel more and more confident investing in data packs, which are already super reasonably priced anyway. But if you guys want to know anything more about these tokens, there's information down below. Check out Team Covenant. I think these guys are great. They're if you like the opposite of, not the opposite of me, but if you like good production quality and dudes who are really good at the game, then you should definitely check them out. They're really great, and they really offer such wonderful insight when new cards come out. So do check them out. You can hit like if you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments if you didn't. Let me know if you prefer, the Covenant tokens to these, or what your preferences are. And let me know what you think about doing more videos in this kind of somewhat more casual format. Let me know if you think that's cool. You can hit subscribe. You guys know that. If you like these videos, hit subscribe. It'll let you know when new videos of mine come out. And like I said, I'm also going to be streaming on Twitch, streaming some Netrunner. So if you want to play with me, or you just want to be on stream, or you just want to watch, or whatever, twitch.tv/heylook. Watch out. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. Looking forward to seeing you in the next one.